Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we are all standing by for the Prime Minister's address to the US Global Business Summit, tonight I will seek answers from the who's who in the biggest film industry of the world, which according to the government are in cahoots with those who endanger India's security. And the man in question is Tony Ashai. Tony Ashai, a Kashmiri settled abroad, a man who is statedly a member of the JKLF and who's often come out on his tweets and questioned India's position on Kashmir, even calling Burhan Wani as a martyr who's been martyred by Indian forces. And he calls the army as completely foreign agents in Kashmir trying to grab the land of the Kashmiris. Today, Tony Ashai is rattled and has given absurd excuses right after Times Now's biggest expose. After knowing all this now, will Bollywood superstars who just for the sake of any event abroad or parties have associated and lent their credibility and legitimacy to this India hater, will they today come out and denounce any links with Pakistan and ISI who seem to be behind these statements made by Tony Ashai and the likes of him like Anil Masrat? And Bollywood queuing up in their events, in their parties, are they actually doing any service to India or Indians? Are they being fair to Indians? Well, that's the question we'll ask on the Newshour tonight. But right now, we're going across to the global US Summit.
Business leaders, distinguished guests, I thank the US-India Business Council for inviting me to address the India Ideas Summit. I also congratulate the US IBC on its 45th anniversary this year. Over the past decades, the US IBC has brought Indian and American business closer. US IBC's choice of this year's summit, Idea Summit, building a better future, is also very, very relevant. Friends, we all agree that the world is in need for a better future, and it is all of us who have to collectively give shape to the future. I firmly believe that our approach to the future must primarily be a more human-centric one. Our growth agenda must place the poor and vulnerable at the core. Ease of living is as important as ease of business. Friends, recent experience has taught us that the global economy has been too focused on efficiency and optimization. Efficiency is a good thing, but on the way we forgot to focus on something equally important, that is resilience against external shocks. It has taken a global pandemic to remind us how important resilience is. Friends, global economic resilience can be achieved by stronger domestic economic capacities. This means improved domestic capacity for manufacturing, restoring the health of the financial system, and diversification of international trade. Friends, India is contributing towards a prosperous and resilient world through the clarion call of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. And for that, we await your partnership. Friends, today there is global optimism towards India. This is because India offers a perfect combination of openness, opportunities, and options. Let me elaborate. India celebrates openness in people and in governance. Open minds make open markets. Open markets lead to greater prosperity. These are principles on which both India and the USA agree. Friends, during the last 6 years, we have made many efforts to make our economy more open and reform oriented. Reforms have ensured increased competitiveness, enhanced transparency, expand digitization, greater innovation, and more policy stability. Friends, India is emerging as a land of opportunities. Let me give you one example of the tech sector. Recently, an interesting report came out in India. It said, for the first time ever, there are more rural internet users than even urban internet users. Imagine the scale. There are about 500 million active internet users in India now. 500 million connected people. Does this sound huge to you? Hold your breath, because there are over 500 million more people who are being connected. Opportunities in technology also include opportunities in frontier technologies of 5G, big data analytics, quantum computing, blockchain, and Internet of Things. Friends, the options to invest in India are extensive. India invites you to invest in the hard work of our farmers. India has done historic reforms in the agriculture sector recently. There are investment opportunities in agriculture inputs and machinery, agriculture supply chain management, ready-to-eat items, fisheries, and organic produce. India's food processing sector is expected to be worth over $500 billion by 2025. To grow more streams of revenue, the best time to tap investment opportunities in Indian agriculture sector is now. India invites you to invest in healthcare. The healthcare sector in India is growing faster than 22% every year. Our companies are also progressing in production of medical technology, telemedicine, and diagnostics. India and the US have already built a robust partnership in the pharma sector. To achieve scale and speed, now is the best time to expand your investment in Indian healthcare sector. India invites you to invest in energy. As India evolves into a gas-based economy, there will be big investment opportunities for US companies. There are also big opportunities in the clean energy sector. To generate more power for your investment, this is the best time to enter the Indian power sector. India invites you to invest in infrastructure. Our nation is witnessing the largest infrastructure creation drive in our history. Come, be a partner in building housing for millions or building roads, highways and ports in our nation. Civil aviation is another area of great potential growth. The number of air passengers are expected to more than double within next 8 years. The top private Indian airlines plan to include over 1,000 new aircraft over the coming decade. This is a huge opportunity for any investor who chooses to set up manufacturing facilities in India, which can become a base for supplying regional markets. A similar case is obvious for setting up maintenance, repair and operation facilities. To give flight to your aviation targets, this is an ideal time to invest in the Indian aviation sector. India invites you to invest in defense and space. We are raising the FDI cap for investment in defense sector to 74%. India has established 2 defense corridors to encourage production of defense equipment and platforms. We offer special incentives for private and foreign investors. A few weeks ago, we cleared path-breaking reforms in the space sector. Come, be a part of these upcoming sectors. India invites you to invest in finance and insurance. India has raised FDI cap for investment in insurance to 49%. Now, 100% FDI is permitted for investment in insurance intermediaries. The insurance market in India is growing at a rate of more than 12% and is expected to grow to $250 billion by 2025. With the success of Ayushman Bharat, our health assurance scheme, PM Fasal Bima Yojana, our crop insurance scheme, and Jan Suraksha, or social security schemes, the government has laid the ground for quick adoption and acceptance of insurance products. There are large untapped opportunities for increasing insurance cover in health, agriculture, business and life insurance. To generate long-term and assured revenues, the Indian insurance sector is one of the best investment options right now. I have given you a few options, and that too without any consultancy fees. Friends, when the markets are open, when the opportunity is high and the options are many, can optimism be far behind? You can see the optimism when India rise in key business ratings, particularly the ease of doing business rating of the World Bank. Investment is the best show of confidence. Every year we are reaching record highs in FDI. Each year is significantly higher than the earlier one. FDI inflows in India in 2019-20 were $74 billion. This is an increase of 20% from the year before that. Friends, in US IBC informed that pledged investment from the US has already crossed $40 billion this year. Also, see what has happened even during the ongoing pandemic. In the middle of COVID, India has attracted foreign investment of more than $20 billion between April and July 2020. But India offers many more opportunities. We have what is needed to power the global economic recovery. Friends, the rise of India means a rise in trade opportunities with a nation that you can trust, a rise in global integration with increasing openness, a rise in your competitiveness with access to a market which offers scale, and a rise in your returns on investment with the availability of skilled human resources. Friends, for this vision, there are few better partners than the United States of America. India and the USA are two vibrant democracies with shared values. We are natural partners. Thus, US-India friendship has scaled many heights in the past. Now, it is time our partnership plays an important role in helping the world bounce back faster after the pandemic. American investors often look out for the perfect timing to enter a sector or a country. To them, I would like to say, there has never been a better time to invest in India. I once again thank the US IBC leadership for the commitment to advancing India-US economic partnership. May the US IBC keep scaling new heights. May the India-America friendship grow further. Namaste. Thank you.
Well, that was the Prime Minister making a hard sell for India, making a pitch to US investors on how India was ready to get their investments in all areas, from insurance to defense and space, from civil aviation to agriculture, from pharma to IT. Clearly, the Prime Minister looking at a new India being a new destination for American investments. That was the Prime Minister's address to the US-India Business Council. But, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we'll turn our attention now to another big story, a big story that we've been following here on Times Now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Home Affairs has sounded an alert that Pakistani agents were trying to infiltrate our film industry. This is the letter that was written on June 23rd by the Minister of State for Home Affairs. This was done after this letter was written by a Shiv Sena MP alleging that there was a clear-cut link between Bollywood and Pakistan ISI. Now, the MHA, the Ministry of Home Affairs, has started a Twitter thread and BJP has showcased several A-listers in Bollywood with Pakistani agents. A strong appeal has now been made by BJP leaders like Mr. Jay Panda, who have asked all well-known faces of Bollywood to at once drop and denounce any such association which may prove to be a threat to India's national security. Let's listen in to Mr. Jay Panda, who first raised this question.
There are multiple threads which show individuals abroad. Some of them are Pakistanis, some of them are NRIs, and their tweets and threads show that they are urging violence in Jammu and Kashmir, and some of them are seen fraternizing with personalities from Bollywood, various different personalities, and some of them are also, the same people are seen along with Pakistan's army generals and in their army bases. So it's fairly obvious that these people have ISI and Pakistani army connections. And considering the kind of terrorism that is sponsored by those entities in India, I think our Bollywood personalities ought to renounce such links and such connections. There has been a lot of reportage in the past about Bollywood's links with mafia, with funding from the underworld, and these underworld agencies and personalities having clear links in Pakistan, living in Pakistan. There was expected that there would have been some cleanup by now, and perhaps there has been, but clearly not all of it has been cleaned up. But now that India has been taking different kinds of attacks lying down for a long time, and now that we are no longer willing to tolerate that, we are pushing back. For example, with Balakot last year, I think these ISI handlers are trying different means. And one of them is to urge violence through social media, and they get credibility because they are seen partying with famous celebrities from India. So I think it is important that Indian celebrities, look, whatever be the past, at least from the present onwards, now that it is clear that these people are connected to ISI and Pakistan, it does not make sense to continue having relations with these people.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, pictures on your screen show two such individuals, Tony Ashai and Anil Musrat. And the legitimate question on the News Hour tonight is just one. Will B-Town name the traitors within? That's the question and the debate coming up on the other side. Hashtag Bollywood Pak ISI link. That's the debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And let me introduce my panel tonight. Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Ashok Pandit, film director and Kashmiri activist, Shehzad Poonawalla, lawyer, Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, Tahseen Poonawalla, Bigg Boss contestant, Ilyas Nazir Lawe, lawyer and political analyst, Abbas Hafiz, political analyst, Kasturi Shankar, actor. But my first question goes out to Aarti Tikku Singh, senior journalist. And Aarti, I want to ask you, Tony Ashai has lynched you in a tweet questioning how deplorable a Kashmiri you are because you questioned him. You had the tenacity and you had the temerity to question Mr. Tony Ashai, known to be a member of the JKLF, and everybody knows the tweets that he's put up. And let me read out a couple of tweets that he's put out. He's called the Indian army as occupiers of Kashmiri land, out there for grabbing the land of the Kashmiris. And he said that Burhan Wani is actually standing up for his nation and he died for it, and he has been martyred by Indian soldiers. I want to ask you, Aarti Tikku Singh, and this man says he's a Kashmiri and NRI, and our Bollywood biggies are seen partying with him, dancing with him, virtually lending him credibility and legitimacy. Aarti.
Navika, thank you. Well, the thing is that Tony Ashai has forfeited the right to call himself a Kashmiri because he lives in the US in an ivory tower, and he asks Kashmiri kids to fight against India through covert means, and he thinks that he is a Kashmiri. I mean, he is sending Kashmiri youth to their death. He is asking Kashmiris to kill and get killed. So what kind of a Kashmiri is he? He is not really a Kashmiri. He's a mercenary who is working for the ISI, who comes from a very wealthy, influential political family of Kashmir, and he is sitting in the US sending his son to a very prestigious university in the US, and he's asking kids to go and fight against India. Well, my issue with Tony Ashai is that he actually has no business calling himself a Kashmiri or even interfering in the matters related to Kashmir, because he neither lives there or has any stakes in Kashmir as of today. Whereas I am an Aborigine Kashmiri. I have lived in Kashmir. I was born and brought up in Kashmir. I got displaced because of the terror organization he is associated with, JKLF. JKLF was the organization which not only killed Indian Army Air Force soldiers but also killed Kashmiri Pandits. They were the organization who issued threats against Kashmiri Pandits. They were the organization which pasted a letter asking my family to leave Kashmir, otherwise we all were going to get killed. So what Kashmiri is he? He is not a Kashmiri. He is a mercenary of the ISI because he is batting Prime Minister Imran Khan's point of view. He's batting Pakistani army's point of view on Kashmir, and he is somebody who has absolutely no stake whatsoever, emotional, psychological, physical, financial stake in Kashmir. My other point is that I am a bit disappointed with Bollywood.
Abbas Hafiz, I want to ask you, why do our Bollywood A-listers find nobody else to party with, to associate with, to be invited by in the United States other than somebody who's an India beta who says Imran Khan has done more for Kashmir than India ever has? What has Imran Khan done, sir, other than sending terrorists into Kashmir to kill our soldiers, to kill our civilians? As an Indian, I'm asking you, Abbas Hafiz.
As an Indian, I'm telling you, Navika ji, I agree with you completely. Where is the question? The question is that the people who are in question must come out and should answer and should defend themselves, or should tell the exact thing, what is their point of view. But another thing is that the government of India should also declare many things. Like I want to ask the BJP spokesperson, have they declared Pakistan and other such nations an enemy state? Why haven't they done that till now? So that these people should be stopped, and we should question
look at
them.
this question.
And Shahzad, I'm not talking to you. Shahzad, let me complete my things. You're not the BJP spokesperson.
Is it your most favored nation?
Who's sitting?
No, but I'm surprised you don't consider Pakistan as your enemy.
Listen to me. You don't.
Mr. Hafiz Saeed, Abdul Hafiz Saeed, don't you consider Pakistan as your enemy? Pakistan आपके दिल में है? Mr. Abdul Hafiz Saeed.
You say this thing.
Mr. Abdul Hafiz Saeed, I'm asking you a question, Mr. Abdul Hafiz Saeed.
How dare you call me Saeed?
Why are you so agitated? Why are you defending Karachi, Islamabad and Rawalpindi? What have I said? But what have I said?
Abbas
I said आपके दिल में
Abbas
पाकिस्तान है
Hafiz
क्या?
is not Saeed. Shehzad, you know what's the point
Mr.
you're
Abbas
making?
Hafiz Saeed, what have I said?
How dare you call me Hafiz Saeed? Are you in your senses?
What have I said, Abbas Hafiz?
You just want cheap publicity.
I said Abbas Hafiz. I don't know your full name, sir. But it's Pakistan. But why you got so agitated on Pakistan?
You said this thing.
Mr. Hafiz, I am asking
Shehzad Poonawalla. 1 minute, let me come in here. 1 minute. Abbas Hafiz is as much an Indian as you are, Shehzad Poonawalla. You can't call him Abbas Hafiz Saeed. You know, we know where you're getting at. But Shehzad Poonawalla, let's talk on principles. Let's talk on issues. Let's not twist names. twist names to make a joke out of it. If you have a point to make to Abbas Hafiz, please make it now.
I am not making a joke.
हमारा दुश्मन देश डिक्लेयर क्यों नहीं करती?
But one second, my point is he does not consider Pakistan as his enemy. Then he considers it as his best country. Does he love Pakistan?
पर हम ये कह रहे हैं साफ साफ कि मोदी सरकार को क्या चीज रोकती है कि उसको एनिमी देश डिक्लेयर करे? इसलिए मैं ये बात कर रहा था आपने।
All right, Gaurav Bhatia.
की बात क्या है?
Straight question to you, Gaurav Bhatia. Why has India not declared Pakistan as an enemy country so far? You know, only if you do that will Abbas Hafiz support Bollywood A-listers from denouncing their association. That's the precondition. Do you agree with that precondition? As an Indian citizen, you don't have any duties, Abbas Hafiz. You want a precondition कि अगर Indian government...
लविका जी, सबसे पहले मैंने क्या कहा था कि I agree with लविका कुमार 100%. I agree with you. That the people of
so then why are you setting preconditions?
No.
Why are you setting preconditions?
I am saying the government is also at fault. They should...
Gaurav Bhatia, respond to Abbas Hafiz.
I wanted to start by first saying that अपनों से ही उम्मीदें होती हैं, and people like Shah Rukh Khan or the A-listers in Bollywood need to understand they are a product of admiration by the people of the country. And Jay Panda ji put it very reasonably. He says that now since they have come to know of these links with the ISI, then these Bollywood A-listers have a responsibility to de-link themselves with these people and also denounce them. That is very fair. Now, Hafiz, I am very happy that we are not having a debate or a discussion on this point because it doesn't require one, Navika. Hafiz, rightly so, is as much Indian as I am. And yes, he's right when he says that there is a responsibility on these public figures. The point that you were talking about, government not taking enough action, I will answer that. There is a resolution in the parliament. Government come and government go. But the resolution states, the resolution is that we have to ensure that we get back the territory. Barakot airstrike happened, surgical strike happened, the most favored nation status was revoked, the trade ties were severed. Don't you think the government is acting? And let me also very proudly say, Hafiz.
Gaurav Bhatia, we all know our history with Pakistan. I'm talking about the context of this letter written by the Minister of State for Home Affairs. And let me get in Ashok Pandit. Ashok Pandit, I want to ask you.
Can I complete my point, Navika?
Sir,
Can I just quickly complete my point?
सर हिस्ट्री ना बताएं, प्रेजेंट में बताएं.
मैं हिस्ट्री नहीं, मैं प्रेजेंट ही, मैं उससे क्वेश्चन पूछा, that was important, so I answered. I will respect my fellow panelists. Okay, so that's how I answered. Now let me just frame one important point. See, it is important to know कि ये अमन की आशा से दौर बदल गया है और बुलेट की भाषा में आ गया. Pakistan has been isolated. A historical decision was taken and nullification of Article 370 happened. So now Pakistan is taking another route, which is a sinister route to destabilize us. Every citizen has the responsibility to unite and stand with the government and the country. That is the simple point. And more onus lies on public figures because they are role models and idols for many. So therefore, Shah Rukh Khan, even if you made a mistake, on Times Now I appeal, why don't you come out and just clarify your position? Because I, as a citizen, will rather prefer to sit at home and not watch anything than watch a movie
taken the interview of Modi ji. Why have you allowed Akshay Kumar, after knowing all these things, you are in power, you have the agencies, you must be aware about all these
No, 1 minute. Tehseen Poonawala and Ashok Pandit. Tehseen Poonawala, I want to ask you that it's a very reasonable demand made by the BJP, Mr. Jay Panda, who's come out. He's put all these tweets on his timeline on social media, and he's, joined the thread where the pictures of the Bollywood A-listers are present with some of these individuals. The only question we are asking is, nobody is doubting the patriotism of our film actors. Nobody is questioning why they are doing what they are doing. Maybe even to give them the benefit of doubt, they did not know about the antecedents. The question is It's a futuristic declaration that is being asked, that if you're an Indian citizen, would you endorse somebody who calls Burhan Wani a freedom fighter, or would you call Burhan Wani the terrorist that he is? Isn't that a fair question to ask? Would you as an icon of India who crores of people adore and worship in this world, not stand with somebody who berates India on a daily basis on social media and give him legitimacy and credibility? Is that too much to ask of our Bollywood stars who are Indian citizens?
Namaskar, ma'am. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm going to be very brief, very to the point. Aman Ki Asha was mentioned. It was a Times of India initiative. I think that the same thing Times of India should also publicly put out, that Pakistan has let us down and we will never ever indulge in this kind of Aman Ki Asha thing. But if Times of India's intention was clear, like you rightly said, Shah Rukh Khan must also get the benefit of the doubt. Point number 2, I completely agree with you, ma'am, and I have a lot of respect for you, that merely a picture cannot become an association. For example, Prime Minister Modi, even Arun Jaitley ji, the late Arun Jaitley ji, in Daughters Sangeet, Shah Rukh Khan was there, had associated. Of course, they didn't know anything. Prime Minister Modi, in fact, even gave hospitality to Mehul Bhai Choksi in his house and called him Mehul Bhai Choksi, came cho, macha macho, saro che. So then, is Prime Minister Modi a criminal? No, Prime Minister Modi clarified. Same benefit of doubt goes to Shah Rukh Khan. Now the last point. I hope at the end of my thing, Prime Minister Modi asks Canada Kumar not how he eats his mangoes or how he likes his mangoes, but how can our industry go global without censorship? I think that's a more pertinent issue. Exactly. Anything else, the Home Ministry IB must look into reverse snoozing when China entered our territory with 18 reports saying China's entering. So I'm glad that they took this up.
Shehzad Poonawalla, why is everything a binary? Modi does this, so then, before Modi does, Shah Rukh Khan won't. Why is everything a binary for those who will have conditions attached even to patriotism, even to anti-India positions taken by these freeloaders? And, we are just saying that our stars should come out and denounce them simply because these people do not have the best of India in their mind. Why is everything a binary? Modi karega to ye karenge.
Absolutely, Navika. And by the same logic, Mr. Modi has denounced Mr. Mehul Choksi number of times. So why is there patriotism with preconditions? These people should come out immediately and denounce these ISI stooges. See, today we are not saying that there is a doubt on the patriotism of any person in this picture. But we must ask the question, Navika.
No, you should not have an intention of witch hunting.
Who is now interrupting me? Can I make my point?
Vivek Srivastava, please wait for your turn. Please wait for your turn. I will come to you. 1 minute, Vivek Srivastava. Shehzad, complete your point.
Navika, have you appointed Vivek Srivastava to only come and heckle me in my debates?
Many times.
So let me complete my point.
Nobody.
Navika, I think the only reason you call Vivek is so that he can heckle me.
Shehzad Poonawalla, Vivek, I'm lowering your fader till such time that I come to you. Shehzad, complete your point.
Navika, I can't hear you. Now, Navika, nobody's patriotism or Desh Bhakti is in doubt. But Navika, the question that needs to be asked is that when somebody's swara is sounding like the swara of Pakistan on issues like CA, we must ask whether the script writer was a certain General Akhtar from Pakistan. We must ask if these Kalakars are actually acting on the direction and on the production of some gangs of Islamabad and Rawalpindi. What is the harm in asking these questions? Nobody is raising any doubts. But unless you come out and condemn them and you call these people, these stooges of ISI out, these questions will be raised, because we all know that a lot of these actors are only saying the lines that the directors are giving them. So we need to ask, who are the directors, whether they are sitting in Bollywood or they are sitting in Islamabad. So if the questions are being asked, why is it so uncomfortable for these people?
Kasturi
if there's nothing to hide, they must come out and clarify
that no, we condemn only this, one point, because you're an actor and I want to ask you, as somebody who the public really adores, as somebody who's an icon, would you stand with dubious characters and lend your legitimacy, your credibility to them when they speak against your own country? It's a simple question.
I'm going to answer that question first, and if possible, I'll give in a little bit of my input as well. Number one, actors, yes, as the gentleman before me said, actors, yes, take a lot of pictures with a lot of people. And they cannot be verifying the credibility and the political stances of all those people. However, in the case of Anis Muzarat and Tony Ashai, these are people that are getting certificates of affection and
Oops. We lost the line there. Yeah, okay, she's back.
No, I'm back. I got bumped off because somebody called me. I was saying these are people that are professing brotherly love towards I don't mind them professing love towards Pakistani nationals, because sports people do that all the time. It happens on the cricket ground. Sania Mirza is married to a Pakistani national, and that doesn't bother us. But when these are people with absolute radical extremist views, who are known supporters of secessionism, who are known supporters of what I and every Indian considers terrorism, and you are having a huge project being overseen by them, you're actually giving your money to them, and I don't know where that money will be spent on. I think that is an extremely scary example to set. I just saw the footage of Anil Kapoor saying he is like a brother to him, and that is, I think that's a very inconvenient choice of words, and it's going to haunt people at very inconvenient times in the future. That said,
that's important. That's important that you say these people put their money with them. Yes, it's not hidden from anybody that Gauri Khan has a business running with Tony Ashai. They're part of the same business, and that Tony Ashai is an architect, Royal Estates, Dubai Real Estate Project, endorsed by Shah Rukh Khan, architect Tony Ashai, interior designer Gauri Khan. It is these kind of links, Vivek Srivastava, that we are questioning. We are saying, maybe so far you didn't know about
First of all, Navika,
maybe we'll give you the benefit of doubt that ab tak aapko मालूम नहीं था. लेकिन इनके ट्वीट्स इनके सोशल हैंडल्स पे हैं. आपके पास आजकल हर स्टार के पास PR एजेंसीज होती हैं who look at the Twitter profiles and Twitter accounts of all of these people, who they go with. They check even journalists out before they do an interview with them. They check their business partners, and these business partners who abuse Indian forces, who abuse India's occupation of Kashmir, they call it. I want to ask you, Vivek Srivastava, do you agree? Do you agree with Tony Ashai when he says that Indian forces are land grabbing in Kashmir?
Don't agree. I do not agree with Tony. But I also feel the BJP has been witch hunting particular communities in the Bollywood, particular stars, and a narrative is made to show
community has come into it.
Very successful.
Now community has come into it. Ashok Pandit,
BJP has been doing it for a long time. That is also the truth.
अशोक पंडित कश्मीरी हिंदू हैं आप, कश्मीरी हिंदू हैं, कश्मीरी पंडित हैं. आपको जब निकाला गया तब इनको समझ में नहीं आया था कि certain religions were being targeted. आज इनको समझ में आ रहा है कि BJP is targeting certain communities.
You see, Navika, it's very laughable
if they were such big criminals, what was the BJP doing for the last 6 years?
Navika, can I come in? Can you
if
ask?
There is a money trail between Gauri Khan and Tony.
I think.
Why doesn't
Navika,
know about it?
You should call this. You should call Vivek Srivastava and permanently his status should be out, because he doesn't allow anybody to talk. Now the entire
you can call
issue
me
is a
whatever
very
you want,
serious issue.
आप
The
टारगेट
entire
करते हैं
issue,
खान्स को क्योंकि वो सक्सेसफुल है. आप दिखाना चाहते हैं कि मुसलमान एंटी नेशनल है. वो कितना बड़े
क्यों? अनिल अनिल कपूर की पिक्चर है, सोनू निगम की पिक्चर है, परिणीति चोपड़ा की पिक्चर है, ये सब क्या मुसलमान है? ये मुसलमान और हिंदू कहां से हो गए? विवेक श्रीवास्तव, 1 minute, listen to me. I think you are so wrong factually. इस फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में इंडिया ने सबसे ज्यादा प्यार किसको दिया है? शाहरुख खान को, सलमान खान को, आमिर खान को. Have they seen the religion and given love?
ने दिया है, बीजेपी ने नहीं दिया है. बीजेपी ने नहीं दिया है.
विवेक श्रीवास्तव,
Ashok Pandit, I want to hear only Ashok Pandit and then Shehzad. I'm getting it. Ashok Pandit.
My industry, Navika, please ask this man not to abuse my industry. My industry is the most secular industry. We all live together, we all stay together, we all work together. So don't give these lectures to us. But secondly, Navika, we are discussing a very important issue, and that is related to the internal security of the country. It's not a normal issue. I, on behalf of these people whom you are showing on your screen, let me tell you honestly, with the core of my heart, that all actors like Shah Rukh and all these people, Anil Kapoor, all these people, they are nationalists to the core. And if they would have known that this is the background of the person, let me tell you very honestly, they would have not got into this shit at all, because they are first Indians. Now we have, at the federation level, at the industry level, we have banned Pakistani performers in India. This is the same industry we are talking about. We have banned performers.
Ilyas Nazir Lave. You know, I want to get you. You are from Kashmir, and I want to ask you this question. I'm coming to you, Shehzad. I want to ask you, Ilyas Nave. I want to ask you one question. Is this about Muslims and Hindus? I have not missed a single film of Shah Rukh Khan or Salman Khan or Amir Khan. What does that make me? We are fans in this country. These film stars are worshipped, and when pictures are shown, Anil Kapoor is shown as much as anybody else, because these are pictures. Have you said there is a witch hunt against them? Have you said they've done anything wrong? All we are saying is these are known baiters. They work with the DG ISPR in Pakistan, whether it is Anis Musrat or it is Tony Ashahi. We are saying with this anti-India campaign, we don't know whether these people are getting paid. And when I say these people, I mean Tony Ashahi and Anis Musrat, where they get their funds from, whether those funds are funneled into Jammu and Kashmir to create unrest over there. Shouldn't that be a question that should be considered by Bollywood? And shouldn't they now, if they haven't in the past differentiated between the color of money coming from wherever it does, isn't it time for them to start worrying now?
Yeah, Navika ji, see, it's not the question whether the Bollywood should denounce or
renounce all these actors and all. The question is that BJP spokesperson has leveled serious allegations, and given by the fact that whatever has appeared in his tweet, that he has come along with the documental proof, why doesn't he come open in the public and says what documents he is aware of, what links he is aware of? Because he has himself said that there are some verifiable links to the ISI and Pak army. One question is this. Second is that Kashmiri has never been to this question whether who belongs to which community and which not. And today is not the question that only Muslim, like actors from Muslim community have been targeted or anything else. What we want is that whosoever, let's today give the benefit of doubt to everyone. Like regarding the antecedents.
But the BJP has done that. Jay Panda has done that. And he's been public. Gaurav Bhatia, he's been public. He's put out the entire issue on the thread, and he hasn't taken any names. He's saying, see these threads, make up your mind, because your pictures are floating around on social media. He's raised the question. What's the problem?
Are coming as an... Ma'am, let me complete my point. Earlier comment
to say that people or a Bollywood listers are being targeted because of their religion is absurd, and we condemn this. Because you rightly said, what about Anil Kapoor? Deepika Padukone's picture was also there on Twitter. It's not about a religion, it's about Indianness. And let me say this with some responsibility, that Shah Rukh Khan, your silence is killing us, not your picture with these dubious characters. You should come out, reassure the nation that yes, you are denouncing them, and in future it won't happen. Yes, there will be repercussions, there might be a monetary loss, but you will again win the hearts of Indians, and we will respect you even more.
You've hit the nail on the head, Gaurav Bhatia. Gaurav Bhatia, you've hit the nail on the head.
6 years you were sleeping.
Shah Rukh Khan is as loved and trusted as anybody else, but today his silence is disturbing India. And Abbas Hafiz, I want to ask you, bringing in the religion of actors, is that the worst thing that we can do?
I don't support that narrative, and here Akshay Kumar is also being questioned, and other people like Anil Kapoor is also in question. But my question is something else. To Gaurav Bhatia ji, why the Bharatiya Janata Party Sarkar is allowing 5 web series which are about to be released in India? A big banner has already announced the release of 5 web series which are Pakistani. Why have they bought those web series from Pakistan? Isn't that money going from India to Pakistan? What happened? I can quote here, but I don't want to name those
people. Because I think, Aziz, you're making a very pertinent point. And we will definitely look into it. If something new is raised in a debate, we are not adversaries. That's a very valid point. After the debate, you share the names. And
Zindagi Milke Jiyenge is the name of the web series. Google it, Gaurav Bhai. Zindagi Milke Jiyenge. वेब सीरीज का नाम है, गूगल कर लीजिएगा.
Shehzad Poonawala, I want to ask you today, Bollywood silence is deafening. This story has been put out in public domain. Questions have been raised, and this has not been put out just like that out of the blue. It is because on social media, it has been debated, discussed, and threads that have been put out referring to this. Why is there such a loud silence from Bollywood?
Navika, Bollywood silence and Vivek's shrieking, both are deafening. And the real question is only this, that if there are no Gulfam Hussains in this Bollywood, why don't they come out and denounce? It is as simple as that. Instead of sending Vivek Srivastava to be the B-grade villain of this debate, they must just come out and say that we don't need Vivek Jinping, who defends everything. When we banned the Chinese apps, he started defending that. He defends every villain of this country, every enemy of this country. Instead of that, Shah Rukh Khan can come, or these other Bollywood stars can come and they can denounce. But you know, Navika, there were certain terrorists who said कि ये पार्टी हमारी फेवरेट है, ये जर्नलिस्ट हमारे फेवरेट है. आज हमें पता करना होगा कि आईएसआई का कलाकार कौन सा फेवरेट है, आईएसआई का स्क्रिप्ट राइटर कौन सा फेवरेट है, आईएसआई की एक्ट्रेस कौन सी फेवरेट है. हो सकता है कि आईएसआई और हाफिज सईद के भी कोई परफॉर्मर्स फेवरेट होंगे, उनके कोई स्क्रिप्ट राइटर फेवरेट होंगे, कोई ऐसे.
Ladies and gentlemen, where do you stand on this? Do you think our Bollywood biggies, people we have adored, people who get so much adulation from crores of Indians and of course people abroad, people who are the pride of India, should they be seen in a manner of giving legitimacy and credibility to those who cry against India, those who are actually associated, and the pictures of Anil Masrat and also Tonia Shahi with the Pakistani Prime Minister, with the Pakistani ISI Army are all there on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. Should these people get their credibility from our Indian stars? Where does our patriotism end and where does business begin? And where do we draw the line between business and being Indian? That is the real question. We just hope that these A-listers feel as strongly as we do about these individuals who carry out an anti-India campaign. And I hope they will break their silence sooner than later. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on this big debate. Good night from me. Padmaja Joshi up next. Don't go away.